For the Philadelphia 76ers, this trade is a no-brainer. You have Markelle Fultz, once you draft him, paired up with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, and those three young guys together seem like they could be a real problem for the rest of the NBA for a long time. As long as Joel Embiid stays healthy, and then Ben Simmons and Fultz are what we expect them to be, Sixers are going to be pretty okay. Fultz's ability to hit from outside will allow him to play off of Ben Simmons. I do have a little bit of fear about how Simmons could play off of Fultz just because he can't shoot, but it's not like he can't develop a jumper, and with that much talent on the floor, I think they'll probably figure it out. They also have some good role players. Covington is one of them. Can defend multiple positions, very good defensive player overall. I think he's actually going to shoot better from the field and from three now because he has an actual team around him. And who the hell knows what the limit on Dario Saric is? A power forward with some offensive potential, could be a three-point shooter to space the floor next to Joel Embiid. Only other question is if Brett Brown is actually a good coach, because for the past few seasons he's just had very little talent on his roster. That's pretty much all I'm going to talk about the 76ers, because I think the biggest question with this trade is, what are the Celtics doing? You traded the number 1 overall pick for the number 3 pick, and then you're either going to get the 2018 Lakers pick, if it finishes between number 2 and number 5, and if you don't get that pick from the Sixers, then you're getting the 2019 Kings pick. Here's the thing. I can understand the rationale in saying we can turn one good pick into 2 good picks, if this was the NFL. In the NBA, one great pick can be all you need. If Markelle Fultz is as special as everyone says he is, offensively can beat guys off the dribble, very good three-point shooter, play in the pick and roll, play off ball, can play some shooting guard, at least offensively. And then defensively, well, there's some questions about his willingness to actually play defense. I have to assume that would change in the NBA, and then given his size, he has the profile of someone who could grow into a really good defensive player. Sounds like an awesome pick to me, and now you're losing out on that to open up more unknown, and that's not good. Now, there are some rumors that they would turn the 3rd pick into Jimmy Butler. Then I could be a little more okay with this a little bit, because I could see the rationale in saying, okay, we'd rather have Jimmy Butler and then the 2018 Lakers pick or the 2019 Kings pick on top of our 2018 Nets pick than just Markelle Fultz. But even then, you're opening yourself up to more unknown with those draft picks. Also, I understand that LeBron James is, 32 years old now, and he's going to be 33 next season? That guy was awesome this year. He was great in the NBA Finals, and I don't think Jimmy Butler puts you over LeBron James. And if you sign Gordon Hayward, I still don't think you're better than LeBron James. Now maybe at that point I'm wrong, but I see a team that has a lot of talent but still doesn't have that one guy who can go toe-to-toe with LeBron. And if that's the case, why are you making a win right now type of move? I mean, if you get Fultz, then in like 4 years when LeBron is hopefully done, he's got to be done at some point, well, Fultz will be really freaking good, and then you can be ready to do your thing. Now, we can talk about the 3rd pick they're ending up with in this draft. It would be kind of ironic or funny or something if the guy they drafted 3rd ended up being really freaking good, and then we all just kind of forgot about this one. Rumors say it's Josh Jackson. Now, there's some value in him. I mean, people saying he can be a good defensive player, he's a good athlete. I mean, the one guy that I go to for, everything NBA, the 2 guys really, and especially the draft, are Nate Duncan and Danny LaRue. And they weren't very high on Josh Jackson. They didn't like his ball handling ability. They admitted that he was a good passer, but if he can't really control an offense that often, then, I mean, it's not really the most valuable skill in the world, on top of his shooting. And I don't know, they saw him as a guy who could definitely be a part of an NBA roster, but they don't think he's worth this high of a pick on. I don't know, maybe the Celtics disagree on that one. If you could put a team together that's like Josh Jackson, Jaylen Brown, Jay Crowder, a lot of guys who can defend multiple positions and switch. Like, yeah, there's something there, but, I mean, that's nice. Markelle Fultz isn't nice. Markelle Fultz seems to be like a franchise player who can lead you for the next 10 years plus. It just seems like a lot to give up to get a piece for your team, you know what I mean? But maybe Josh Jackson is just through the roof amazing, or maybe they don't want Josh Jackson if they end up keeping the pick. But honestly though, if they do end up keeping the pick, I don't like this trade because you essentially moved yourself back a year. Because like Al Horford's already over 30 years old. Isaiah Thomas is getting up there. He and Avery Bradley's contracts are up after this season. I really don't see the point of basically moving back a year. And when I say move back a year, I mean, like, they still have a pick in this draft, but we all know that the difference between the top pick and the third pick could be from a franchise player to just a very good player, which means you're still looking for that next big-time guy to carry this team for a long duration once this current regime is a little older. But of course, again, the third pick could end up being the best player in the draft for all we know, if you end up drafting someone. Now, if you end up trading the pick and getting a win right now move, then I can at least understand it, but then like I said before, there's still LeBron James waiting in the wing. Clearly, I'm on the side of just draft Markelle Fultz and roll with it. But then again, maybe they do acquire Jimmy Butler and they sign Gordon Hayward and they can actually beat LeBron James. I don't think so, but could be wrong on that one. And if that was the case, then you would have a team that could at least make the NBA Finals, and you'd still have at least one draft pick that could end up really high. But again, I don't think they can beat the Cavaliers even if they do make some big win right now type of moves. Another thing to talk about though, you really helped out the 76ers a lot here, man. Like with this big three they have now, you're probably going to have to deal with this like 4 or 5 years from now, and I don't know if you're going to be able to beat that. I mean, I'm looking at the Celtics. If I can look 5 years into the future, like sure, there are some high picks here, but you might not get number one again. That's the thing with the NBA, man. You can't trade a sure thing for uncertainty. If you have that opportunity to get number one, you just take it, unless you can trade for like Anthony Davis. The Sixers are looking really good now because of this, and I don't know if the Celtics are going to be ready to deal with them in a few years. So yeah, I don't like this move for the Celtics. I feel like you either then make a win now type move with trading for Jimmy Butler, and then you hopefully sign Gordon Hayward. That's not a sure thing whatsoever. And even then, like, I still don't love your chances of beating LeBron, which makes the win now part of it not as awesome. And then if it's for the future, well, you just lost the ultimate piece that can help your future, which is the first overall pick. So yeah, I mean, this isn't like catastrophically bad. Like, it's not going to turn them from a good situation to a not as good situation. Well, it does a little bit. It doesn't kill them, I should say. Like, the draft picks they have moving forward are still pretty good, but this was better than pretty good. Oh well, I'm just going to have to see what they do moving forward.